Hey everybody, our lesson that we are starting is dragon eggs. We are going to be creating these really cool dragon eggs with a dragon eye peeking through. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's talk about all that we need to know for this project. For this lesson, we are going to be focusing on shading, and we are going to be shading using colored pencils. So let's go ahead and take a better look at shading. There are many different shading techniques that artists can use in their work, including hatching, cross-hatching, blending, rendering, squiggly, and contour hatching. When you are shading, you are adding in different values, some dark and some light. This creates the illusion of depth and causes shapes to then look like forms, meaning it takes a two-dimensional or a flat item and makes it look three-dimensional like it stands up off the paper. In our lesson today, we are going to be focusing on the blended version of shading using colored pencils. So let's talk a little bit more about how we're going to do that. First, we're going to need to create a value or a gradient scale using shading. This includes creating tints and shades, dark tones and light tones. In these two examples of a value or a gradient scale, you can see the transition from the darkest to the lightest color. In the top example, you can see it transitioning from darkest color of black to lightest color of white, and all of the midtones are in between. Just like in the bottom example, it goes from the darkest pink to the lightest pink. You can create these different dark and light tones by the pressure you place on your pencil. If you press down harder, your color is going to be darker. If you press down softer, your color is going to be lighter. We are going to practice shading by filling out our practice shading worksheet. This worksheet is available for you to download as a PDF that you can print at home, or if you don't have access to a printer, you can just recreate your own on a blank sheet of paper. At the very top, I've placed a craftsmanship scale to remind you how clean and neat we are coloring. Our goal is to not color at a 1 or a 2, but to aim more for a 3 and a 4. This does not mean that you are pressing down harder, it just means that all of your colored strokes are going in the same direction, nice and neat, and filling your space well. You shouldn't have a bunch of scratchy lines all over your picture. Select the colored pencil that you would like, and you want to practice shading light, medium, and dark. Remember, you are going to create these different tones by applying different amounts of pressure on your pencil. After that, you're going to drop down and practice a gradient or a value scale, where you are transitioning from the darkest color to the lightest color. Try to not pick your pencil up off the paper. Start pressing down hard, and as you're making your way across that gradient scale, lighten up your pressure to then make those lighter tones. This should be a gradual transition from the darkest to the lightest color. Below that, you are going to practice shading where two analogous colors blend together. You want to transition from one color to another. On the ends is where the darkest color should be, and in the middle is where you fade to a lighter tone, and that way the two can blend. Remember, you are choosing analogous colors, and these are next door neighbors on the color wheel. I have included the two color wheels beside our practice paper here so you can remember those analogous colors when you are selecting which colored pencils you want to use. Make sure you are completing this practice shading worksheet before you move on to the next step. If that means you need to pause the video here and work on it, you can. Once you are done, you can resume the video, and we'll be moving on to our first step in drawing our dragon egg. And now we are ready to create our dragon eggs using shading and good craftsmanship. So let's go ahead and talk about our first step. The first step is sketch the egg shape with a number 2 pencil. The dragon egg is an oval shape, and you want to draw that oval large on your paper. You are using a number 2 pencil in case you make any mistakes. Remember to press down lightly with your pencil, don't press down hard in case you make a mistake and you can easily erase it. If you press down hard, it's going to be really difficult to erase any mistakes. Next, you're going to watercolor the background color for your egg. This is a light wash. You do not want to have a lot of heavy, dark color on your egg at this point. You want it to be a light wash, meaning you use more water than you use color in your watercolor palette. This is just so we have an initial background color on our egg, and we'll be building our shading detail on top of that using our colored pencils. You can use any color you would like, and when you are done, you want to set your egg to the side to let it dry. We won't be able to add anything else until our egg is dry. While we are waiting for our egg to dry, we are going to do our practice line tracing worksheet. At the top, there are some lines that I would like for you to practice tracing over with any marker color of your choice. And at the bottom, I'd like you to practice neatly tracing over the scales. This is going to be super important because we are going to be doing a lot of tracing during this project, and we want to make sure our lines are clean. Again, we're looking to have good craftsmanship skills throughout the entire project. This worksheet is available for you to download and color on, or if you do not have a printer, you are able to just draw it on your own and show me that you've practiced tracing some lines. Be sure to do this step before we move on to the next step. So if that means you need to pause the video here and resume it later, you totally can. The last step for today is we're going to draw our dragon eye. We're going to start with a pencil and then trace with a Sharpie. Both of these worksheets are available for you to download as a PDF, or you can just leave them pulled up on the screen to work from. One of them is going to show you a step-by-step tutorial on how to draw the dragon eye. The other one is just some further examples of dragon eyes that you can use as inspiration to create your own. So go ahead and use your pencil first to draw your dragon eye, and then trace over it with your Sharpie. When you are drawing your dragon eye, you want to draw it on a smaller paper. Remember, this dragon eye is going to go behind your egg, so don't draw it very big. And this is where we're going to stop today for our first day working on these dragon eyes. At this point, you should not go further than this. You want to stop here. This is the end of our first rotation. You will resume the video next time you come to art class. You will pick up from this spot. So again, don't go past this for your first day. Wait until your next art rotation for you to resume the video. Welcome back to day 2 of working on our dragon eggs. Let's go ahead and talk about the next steps for today. To begin, if there were any steps from day 1 that you did not finish, go ahead and finish that up now. Maybe you need to finish drawing your dragon eye, maybe you need to add in a few more details. Take the first 5 to 10 minutes to go ahead and wrap that up before we jump to the next step. You can pause the video here and resume when you're ready. The next step is we're going to be finishing drawing the dragon eye, meaning we're going to be coloring it in using colored pencils and markers. For this step, you can use any colors that you would like. I would try to stick within the same color families and remember your shading techniques that you've learned. How can you transition from dark colors to light colors? Or can you even blend two analogous colors together? So go ahead and pause the video here. You can resume when you are ready and we will pick up on the next step. Your next step is you're going to add details to the egg using your number 2 pencil. This is the step where you're going to create the design that's going to be on the outside of your dragon egg. You can do scales, wavy lines, zigzag lines, any type of design that you would like. This is your own original unique dragon egg, so be creative. And remember to use a number 2 pencil in case you make a mistake, so that way we can erase any mistakes. The next step is you want to trace over your pencil details with Sharpie and markers. Begin with the Sharpie first. After you have used your Sharpie, use any color markers that you would like to add pops of color over those Sharpie lines. And here is when the shading starts to happen. We're going to add colored pencil to our eggs to create some shading and some different values. Again, you want to stick within the same color family. So here you can see I'm using the warm colors. I started with some reds and I added in some oranges and yellows into my shading as well. And notice that my shading rounds the outside edges of my egg to start to make my egg look more three-dimensional instead of looking flat and two-dimensional. So go ahead and add in some shading details onto your egg using the color pencils that you have chosen for your egg color. And this is our stopping point for today. This is the end of class for day 2 of working on our dragon eggs. You should not go past this point for today. You will resume this video the next time you come to art during your next rotation. So go ahead, wrap up what you need to for today. Do not go past this point. Go ahead and stop the video here. I will see you guys next time. Welcome back to day 3 of working on our dragon eggs. At this time, if you need to finish up any of the steps from day 1 and day 2, you can. You can go ahead and pause the video here and resume the video when you are ready. The final steps for our egg is finishing all coloring, shading, and details needed for the dragon eggs and dragon eye. So go ahead and add in anything else you would like to your egg before we move on to the next steps. The next steps will be attaching everything together. You may want to add in some details like extra scales, more shading, different swirls and patterns. That is completely up to you. So you can pause the video here if you need to and resume it when you're ready. And now our final steps is putting everything together. Begin using scissors, cut along the pencil outline to cut out the egg. Once you've cut out the egg, you can throw away that scrap piece of paper. You will no longer need that. You just need to keep your egg. Next, use a colored pencil to poke a hole in the egg, and you want to poke from the back to the front. You're going to choose where you want that dragon eye peeking out from your egg, maybe at the top or the bottom. Poke that hole through, and then you're going to begin tearing the hole open more. Just tearing back the paper a little bit to reveal the hole that your dragon eye is going to peek through. Next, using liquid glue, add glue on the paper around the dragon eye. You want to add it around the dragon eye because you are going to be attaching it to the back of the egg. So you will be sticking that dragon eye onto the back of your dragon egg. Once it is stuck on there, you can tear the hole more to expose more of the eye. Maybe you want to see more of those scales showing different parts of your dragon eye, so you can peel back the egg more as you go. Just be careful to peel slowly and tear slowly so you don't rip a whole chunk out. And once you finish all of these steps, you have completely finished your dragon egg and dragon eye project. Make sure you take a picture of it, send it to me because I can't wait to see the awesome creation you have made. And you can use the remainder of the time today to finish up these last few steps. Can't wait to see what you guys made. See you next time.